Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, J Villain, aka That Villain J. Coming back at you with a little something different tonight. Very special treat. We're going to be looking at some Kaldheim previews and spoilers and even some leaks that just broke a few hours ago on the subreddit. A couple of leaked cards. And we're going to be looking at, so far, everything we know about Kaldheim, everything I can find that's out there right now. About the new set coming out, I believe, January 29th. So we're only about 28 days till Kaldheim, releasing on Arena. If you're a paper player, you do have to play a little bit longer. You do have to wait a little bit longer, not play a little bit longer. You can play as much as you want, but we're going to be looking at some of the spoilers. So if you don't want to see any Kaldheim spoilers, go check out some of my other videos. Go check out the 6-Win Run playlist. It's a great playlist. All quality stuff on there. So be forewarned, this is going to be spoiling a lot of the cards, even leaking some of the cards. Some of them are like blurry pictures that people have leaked out of playtesting or whatever like that. Not just official Magic the Gathering Wizards review releases and stuff like that. So we're going to be going over that, and we're going to be looking ahead and thinking about all the different archetypes and deck types that we might be able to build coming up when we hit that beautiful, beautiful Kaldheim release. I'm super stoked for it. If you're pumped for it, if you think it's going to be a good set, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Love to hear your opinions on it. Should be a pretty good topic for discussion. If you haven't yet, please gently press that subscribe button, caress that like button. Everybody wants you to smash it. I don't. I want you to be tender with it. And it's a good idea because if you don't like and subscribe, the like and subscribe will come after you and get you. So I have no control over him. Watch out for him. Join us on our stream every night, twitch.tv/thatvillainj. And of course, as always, you can join us in our Discord, The Villain's Lair. All of those links will be in the description, as well as a link to my merch store, where everything is currently on sale for the new year. So, with that being said, let's take a look at what we got, including some late-breaking stuff that, like I said, was just released. Let me pull it up here. I have it on another tab. All right. So, if we're looking at MTG Arena Zone, if we're looking at the spoilers, some of them are officially released. Some of them, as you can see, are these blurry, shiny pictures that some people took, I guess, out of... they took pictures of the paper cards out of the playtesting area. So, first thing I want to cover, if you don't know, if you're not in the know, the first thing I want to say, we're getting the full set of pathways, okay? The full set of pathways is coming. Here they are. Bark Channel pathway, that is your Simic. Blight Step pathway, which is your Rakdos. Golgari is Dark Boar pathway. And Hengegate pathway is your Azorius. Looks like there's going to be some alternate and full land arts for either one. I think we haven't seen the other side because they do have different names on the other side. All we know is these official ones. We don't know what the names of the blue, green, red, blue, and the blue are. Blue really took it on the chin with the double lands. There was not very many. Azorius was a bad hit to take. Golgari and Rakdos I wasn't happy about either. You know how I feel about Simic. But it should be very good to have the full set of pathways finally out there because we were sorely lacking them. So if we want to start at the bottom, Pyro of Heroes. I'm not a big artifact fan, but with sacrifice decks coming out, you can pull some nice tricks with this with sacrifice. Search your library for creature cards that share creature type with a sacrifice creature. So this will help in tribal. You can put it directly onto the battlefield. Pyro of Heroes. It's a rare. Realm Walker, we do have Changelings. This card is every single type of creature. This will definitely help. I don't know if there's going to be direct party support. We haven't seen any cards that directly mention party, I don't think. But there certainly will be some support for the people who still want to rock the party mechanic. However you may feel about it, it is in the game in the current set, so it is something that can be exploited. So Realm Walker should help. I'm excited about Rampage of the Valkyries. I love playing Angels, and this is going to be really great. It's an end card game. It's right at 5, which is about the limit of what I like to spend. For Angel decks, it will really, really, really hurt people because they have to sacrifice anytime your Angels die. And of course, I cry when Angels deserve to die. Also, all these Valkyries, I was very happy they did not make them a different creature type. In the past, Wizards love to make everything a different creature type. They've tried to consolidate creatures now. Even though Valkyrie is not exactly an angel, they do count as an angel for that specific creature type. So that is the good news. Not too excited about some of the greens. We do have more shapeshifters here. We do have some elves. We're going to be seeing a lot of elves, dwarves, I think giants. We haven't seen too many giants yet. Elves, dwarves, and wolves and stuff like that. This is going to be a big endgame card, especially for creature tokens. I foresee probably something like Scoot Swarm and Elven Ambushes coming out, because just to overwhelm people. Because if you have a lot of elves on the board, especially if you're running a full pack of 4 of these, it starts getting recursive. So if you already have 10 elves on the board because you played this once and you had 5 elves on the board and then you play it again, you're going to have 20 elves on the board. If you combine that with Scoot Swarm or something like that, you can make an elf bug deck that really gets out of control. Vehicles. I don't care. I don't like vehicles. I rarely ever use them. This is not bad because it is trample. It's a red vehicle. It's not just an artifact. It's not colorless, so whatever. Giant's Fury. Target giant you control. So one of my favorite decks, I have a Naya giant deck, and I also have a mono red giant deck. Fire Giant's Fury is really going to pump up giants. It's really going to be crazy powerful. I'm seeing probably a lot more power in uncommon. I'm seeing a lot of good uncommon cards that I like in this. Definitely. So if you're running Giant Tribal, if you want to see my Inferno or my Naya deck, they're down there. You can check them out. I'll put a link in the description. Axe. So here's where we get interested. This is where people were starting to get excited. Especially some of the guys from the chat and from the Discord. We're getting more support for dwarves. And with Throne of Eldraine, there were a few dwarves, but really, really not enough to make a dwarf tribal deck. There really wasn't enough good options to throw together. You had Torbrand, you had 7 dwarves, you had Dwarf Mine. There was a few knights or something like that. There was a few things, but there's going to be 1/1 for each dwarf and equipment, so you're going to be seeing a lot of dwarf equipment tribals. Thornmantle, she's a bit expensive, but she is a rogue, elf rogue. Again, I think Golgari Elves are going to be probably something that's going to be fairly viable, at least in the early. Because we also have another black elf here, which is interesting. So these are kind of dark elves, which would be known in the Norse mythology as Svirfneblin. I think. No, that's Elder Scrolls. They would be called the Niflheim. In Svirfneblin would be the... No, those were the Drow. The Svirfneblin were the Dark Gnomes. I'm getting it all confused. They would be from, the other one. What did I just say about Heim? I can't remember. So there are some dark elves here. So this one has some elf tribal stuff that you can do to it. It's an instant when it comes onto the battlefield. You choose one. So it's only plays for that. It is a 4/3 rogue. It is a little bit expensive. So Nilfhelm, yeah, that's the place that I just said. So we're looking at some of these Valkyries, these Reapers. I am looking forward to an Orzhov Valkyrie deck. Definitely looking forward to that Orzhov Valkyrie deck. I think it's going to be amazing. This has some mill in it, so you might be seen doing some more mill. I don't think mill is going to be going anywhere. Excuse me, let me readjust. I don't think mill is going to be going anywhere, unfortunately. I think we're probably going to see more support for mill. But Angel Berserker, and Berserker is a new type that we're going to see in this class. I think we had Berserkers in previous sets a long time ago. Maybe Barbarians is what I'm thinking of. But a lot of stuff is going to have Berserkers, and I think there's probably going to be some stuff that will, if you put this on a Berserker, they're going to go crazy, like the Berserker Sword or something. We haven't seen. That's my guess, anyways. So this one is not bad because it gives you some resurrection for those elf decks. I don't like stuff that's graveyard to the hand. I like graveyard to the battlefield. That's better. This is specifically to a giant. Giants grants at the battlefield, gain control of non-land permanent. So as long as you can just grab something. A little bit of giant blue control, which we don't see. We don't see very many blue giants. But it is in the theme of that. It is under control. Shapeshifter, a little bit more shapeshifter stuff. So we are getting more things towards that new archetype thing. Where we are going to be getting some additional card support for the types of archetypes that are coming out. So far, these have all been official Wizard releases. We'll get to some of the leaks in a minute. Whenever another angel you control enter the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Youthful Valkyrie. I love this card. I'm definitely going to play it because I can see a Selesnya Angels with all kinds of boosting and things like that. We're seeing some more clerics. We're seeing some more dwarves. White dwarf, which you don't see often. Dwarves are usually almost exclusively red. I don't know how many dwarves there are. Another armed and armored is another dwarf control. Vehicles you control become aristocrat creatures. Choose any number of dwarves. You can attach them. So more dwarf support. White support for dwarves. Angel spells. Here's another cleric that communes with angels. So angel cleric decks definitely looking up. Mono white looking to get very strong. Angel spells you cast cost 2 less. You got to think Baneslayer Angel on turn 3 or turn 4. That's a lot, man. Especially when you consider some of the higher level angels are very, very expensive and very powerful. I'm looking forward to a lot of these tribal decks. I think that they're going to be great. Of course, you have other elves you control get 1/1 and add 3 green. Very, very powerful. Another Berserker, another Angel Berserker, 5/3. You can return it to your hand. Activate the ability only if you had an Angel or Berserker enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So a lot of Berserkers are red, but there are some black Berserkers too. I think it might be exclusively locked to those 2 colors. We'll have to wait and see. What's going to be interesting is, are we going to be seeing some synergies here, especially when you have some of these other Angel Berserkers. Ravaging Reaker is an Angel Berserker, so you could probably even make a mono black Angel Flyers deck or an Angel Berserkers deck that would be very effective. I'm really liking to look at a lot of these different builds. A blue giant, so we are having that. You can reveal a giant, otherwise his price goes up. I don't think he's that great. I mean, if you're ramping, 7 is a huge cost to pay for an 8/8, especially without trample. You can cast an instant or sorcery without paying its mana cost, but Yikes, that's a lot. That's a real late game guy there. And you have to have a giant in your hand, otherwise he goes up to 9. So, I don't know. I don't know how much play he's going to be seeing. I'm sure there's going to be some tricks that you'll be able to pull off with that. Valkyrie Harbinger, very expensive. A little bit past beyond what I like to play. 4/5 flying and lifelink. Surprisingly, a lot of these angels don't have vigilance, and vigilance is usually what we consider to be the angelic trait, flying and vigilance. I think that started with Sarah Angel being kind of the archetype for the original. If you gain 4 more life, you create a 4/4 token with flying and vigilance. Like I said, that's generally what the standard angel is a 4/4 flying white creature with vigilance. So this will make angels. I think that if you're running this with the Starnheim aspirant, it's going to make it much, much more palatable instead of paying that 6. If you're playing this on turn 3 and this on turn 4, and then turn 5, you're starting to gain. You're going to put some Shadow Spears on people. You're going to play some Light of Hopes. You know I love Light of Hopes. And really start pushing them to gain those creatures, especially if you're going to play Speaker of the Heavens as well. You're going to be able to push out a lot of angels. Saraf Realm Eater, here we get to some of the legendaries with some of this lovely gilding, some of this lovely woodcraft rune carvings on the side Norse. So Seraph is obviously supposed to be not Surtur. My North mythology is collapsing right now. The wolf that is released from the underworld, it's Hell's wolf, and he's released from the underworld. He eats the stars and the moon and the sun. What is his name? I can't remember. Fenrir, yeah. So he's Sarolf, Realm Eater. So he is our Fenrir gentleman here. I don't know if you can see that. When a permanent an opponent controls is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Saraf Realm Eater. At the beginning of your upkeep, if he has 1 or more 1/1 counters, you may remove all of them. If you do, exile each other non-land permanent with converted mana cost less than equal to the number of counters removed this way. Bit of a tricky trick here, but every time that somebody dies, he gets a counter. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may remove as many counters as you want, and you exile the converted mana cost equal to the amount of counters, basically. So if you remove 3 counters, everything with 3 or less is removed this way. I would imagine including Sarolf himself, so you've got to be careful with this. He's a little bit of a mini Ugin, which I think is probably going to be a big pain in the ass. Definitely is going to be a big pain in the ass if you're running costless or 1, or you're running small decks. He is definitely going to be a pain because he's pretty cheap too. He's a Golgari, but for black-white wolf decks, I do have a few of them. They'll only get more powerful. So Toski, Barrier of Secrets. So in Norse mythology, the equivalent of Toski, who I can't remember, is a squirrel. Ratatosk, I believe his name is. Ratatosk. He goes between the eagle that is at the top of Yggdrasil, the tree of the world, and the serpent that is wrapped around its roots, and he takes insults back and forth between them. So the eagle thinks of an insult. He tells Ratatosk. Ratatosk runs down the tree and tells the serpent. The serpent comes up with another insult, and it tells Ratatosk. Ratatosk runs back up the tree and tells the eagle, and that goes back and forth and back and forth. So that is either the Bear of Secrets. He cannot be countered. He's indestructible. He attacks every turn. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So he is an interesting one for green, certainly, because he skews almost a lot of different colors there. He skews almost blue, and red with that attack every turn. So, very interesting one. Magda, Brazen Outlaw. Okay, so Seraph, somebody just said Seraph is for each other creature. So Seraph will not have that problem of removing himself. So he is a bit of a mini Ugin there. We'll call him Wolf Ugin. We'll call him Wugin. Other dwarves you control get +1. Great. Orcish Oriflame. That's a deep cut for people who've been playing for a long time. Orcish Oriflame. That's the Orcish Oriflame ability. Whenever a dwarf you control is tapped, create a treasure token, sacrifice 5 treasure tokens, search your library for an art attack or dragon card, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Treasure is going to be interesting because there's ways to cheese this, where you're putting big boy dragons out on the battlefield really quick. If you're going to be able to put out lots of dwarves, excuse me, if you're going to be able to put out lots of dwarves and sacrificing those treasure tokens, especially, I want to see him paired with none other than my man. Let me show you him. You know who he is. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Gadrick, Thief of Crowns. So if you're running an artifact dwarf dragon deck, you got to think Gadrick. Whenever create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn, you're creating a lot of treasure tokens. When you're tapping dwarves, you're creating treasure tokens. It's definitely going to be something. Something is there. Do I know exactly what it's going to be yet? No. But there's going to be plenty of ways to cheese that. So here's a look at some of the gods. I think they're going to be more like demigods, more like the Norse gods, as opposed to removed. They're going to be more active in the world. A 4/4 creatures that are enchanted or have equipped have double strike. So something like the Core Blade Master 2. So you're going to see a lot of white-red double strikers. Equipment seems to figure in very heavily. A lot of artifacts and a lot of equipment with this set right now. Definitely. I think that is something that they're trying to push. I'm not crazy about it personally, but hey, if you like it, go for it. You can see on the back here, he has some equipment. So I don't know if we know what that is yet, what is on his back. So he's going to be a two-face card where maybe it's his sword is the equipment, or you can cast him as Halvar, or he transforms. I don't know. Oh, there it is, Sword of the Realm. So this is his mythic sword. You can cast this as a legendary artifact. Equipped creatures get 2 and vigilance. Whenever equipped creature dies, return it to its owner's hand and it's equipped. So you can have him or the god. He is wielding that. So mythic rare will be interesting. So we already covered the pathways. There they are. Kaya. Very, 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 very interesting Kaya. It exiles target non-land permanents, but it puts a ghost form counter on one target non-token creature. When this creature dies or is put into exile, return it from its owner's hand and create a 1/1. Return it to its owner's hand and create a 1/1 spirit token with flying. I might be wrong here, but I think this is the first anti-exile card I've ever seen, aside from directly removing the enchantment that's causing something to be exiled. This is the first mechanic I've ever seen that causes something to return to your hand from exile. There's no way you can stop it. So very interesting to see Kaya in her new haircut headed to Kaldheim. There's Pyro of Heroes. We do have some more Saga. Saga's obviously being a big part of Norse mythology. Exile the 4 cards until the end of your turn. Play those cards. Whenever you cast a spell, put a 1/1 creature in target. So creature tokens. There's Seraph. There's Kaya. Here's some of the leaks here. Bloody Massacre is another saga here. A Rakdos saga. Create a 2/3 Demon Berserker with Menace. When a Berserker attacks this turn, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Add 1 red mana for each Berserker you control. Until the end of turn, you don't lose mana as this steps and phases end. The Blood Sky Massacre. Very powerful card if you're running a Rakdos Berserker. Very interested to see. Battle for Bredegardus Lesnia. Creating human tokens. Creating elf warrior tokens. Again, choosing artifacts or creature tokens with different names. Create a copy of it. Interesting. So here are some of the more leaks here. Toski, Bear of Secrets, we already saw him. Legendary creature, a Phyrexian Praetor. which is very interesting because why are there Phyrexians on Kaldheim? For any of you Vorthos players that are interested in the story, why are there Phyrexians there? What are they doing there? Is this going to figure into the greater story? We've gotten rid of the big bad, and we really haven't had a big bad come back yet into the story yet. After Nicol Bolas, we've just kind of had, little bits here and there, but I'm interested to see where that goes. And it is a green Phyrexian, so interesting there. Mythic rare, does a lot of stuff. I'm going to kind of gloss by it. I want to hit some of these major ones, these spoilers. More Berserkers, a lot of red Berserkers here. Dwarf Berserker, that's Magda, we already saw that. Battle Mammoth, you might even be able to pull out an Elephant Tribal deck with this. Phyrexian Dreadnought, yep. When a permanent you control becomes the target of spell ability an opponent controls, or an ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Foretell. This is interesting because this is going to be a new mechanic that we haven't seen before. During your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Cast it on a later turn for its foretell cost. So you can basically spread the cost of a card out over 2 turns. It costs more. It's kind of like paying interest. It costs more overall, but it lets you spread the cost out of it. So, interesting mechanic there with foretell. Here we have Boast. Create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Activates the ability only if a creature attacks this turn and only once this turn. So if they attack, you can activate the Boast ability. That'll be interesting to do. Do we have any mechanics that say, that are called like Drunken Rage, that lets you, any Berserker boasts, when any Berserker any Berserker creature uses its Boast ability, do it twice, kind of like a Lucky Clover for boasting, or something that'll modify foretell. That'll be definitely interesting thing to see if that happens. If we have anything that will Lucky Clover itself, my money is on yes. They Lucky Clovered, they gave Lucky Clover to Adventure, and that was a terrible idea, and it led to it being banned. But if there's one thing I know about Magic, is that Wizards does not learn its lessons quickly. They learn them slowly. So we're going to have to see about that. There's Halvar. Again, there's an alternate art for him. I like the other art better, but I'm sure you'll be able to buy it at some place. Righteous Valkyrie, a 2/4 3-drop with 1 white. Whenever another angel or cleric enters the battlefield under control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Very nice. As long as you have 7 or more life than your starting life total, creatures you control gain +2/+2. So this is basically a jumped up version of none other than my favorite little lady, Angel of Vitality. So you got to figure, if you're running Angel of Vitality and this one, Angel of Vitality is if you're 5 or more. This guy's if you're 7 or more. But with 3 drops, you got to figure you're going to be able to jack up creatures a lot by gaining life. I think white is getting a big buff. White was already very powerful, but white looks like it's going to be the way to go. I haven't seen too many impressive blue cards. I haven't seen that many impressive green cards that really, wow, it's going to throw me off. So I'm happy as kind of a Mardu first player, as a red, black, and white player. I'm definitely more excited about this set. And I haven't even seen garbage Simic either. So I'm glad that maybe Simic is getting no support. Sorry to all you Simic players out there. I'm sorry I'm putting your color down. But the problem is that it's a bad color and you shouldn't play it. So, what can I say? It's a bad combo. I don't like it. Stop playing Simic Ram. You're ruining it for the rest of us. Okay. Anyways, rant over. Ranner the Ever Watchful. We have another legendary, Flying Vigilance, another Zorius. First card you foretell each turn costs 0 to foretell. Okay, so there's what I was talking about. What we're going to foretell. I don't know if these are official because they do have a slightly different symbol than that axe that we've seen. So I don't know if this was previous or future, or if we're 100% sure that these guys are coming out. I would assume that usually MTG Zone knows what they're talking about, but we'll see. So Kaldheim, it's a little different symbol there. White Orzhov certainly look to be fun. And then, of course, Golgari Elves. We're really pushing this idea of Golgari Elves. Definitely. We're really, really, really pushing it, of Golgari Elves. You can run probably all black elves. You could probably run an elf rogue deck that's all black. That would be interesting, but Golgari is very cool. Lathrial, Blade of the Elves. Whenever Lathrial, Blade of the Elves deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 elf, green elf warrior creatures. Tap 10 untapped elves you control. Each opponent loses 10 life, and you gain 10 life. So, something like this, guys, you know who I want to pair it with. I want to make a Golgari Veto deck. An elf Golgari Veto deck. Because if I gain 10 life and you lose 10 life, you're going to lose 20 life. Oh, but you need 10 elves. Well, we just saw a lovely little card down here called Elven Ambush that creates 1/1 green elf warrior tokens for each elf you control. Honestly, that's pretty powerful, guy. So I'm thinking that you're going to be able to make a huge amount of elves, especially with the effect of her damaging and creating those, especially with the amount of cheap elves you can create that already exist in the standard deck. There's going to be some interesting combos. I'll tell you this much. Historic is going to be insane. So one of the leaks that just happened about 13 hours ago on Reddit here. Let me see if it'll load up for me. That's the Dragon Berserker. So we just found out about this. I think I showed it to you already. Yeah, it creates a dragon. So I haven't seen any specific dragon cards yet. But I think that they're going to be relevant soon. I think we're definitely going to see some serpents, some Linorms maybe, something more in the flavor of maybe not the classic Western dragon, but we might even see something like Jormungandr, the World Serpent, as a legendary dragon. That would be really interesting. It probably won't be called Jormungandr. They always come up with a different name. It'll probably be called Dango Harbor or something crazy that the Wizards writing team comes up with, but I'm thinking that we're gonna see them. So I would definitely prepare for that. I'm very happy about, these are some of the official releases. Very happy about that. I didn't think we see Surtland Flinger, another giant berserker. You may sacrifice another creature. It deals damage to the sacrifice's creature power. If the sacrificed creature was a giant, it deals twice that much damage. Nidhogg, yeah, Nidhogg would be cool too. So this is basically fling built into the mechanic of a giant. If you can get the giant to be very powerful and bring out Surtland Flinger, you can fling a giant directly at something and do double damage. I would like to see this paired with something like Fiery Emancipation. So you're talking round 6 Fire Emancipation, attack with him, sacrifice another giant that you have out, and it'll do double the amount of damage, and also, yeah, you double the amount of power with Unleash Fury, Tanuki is saying here, double the amount of damage with, because it's a giant, and then triple the total amount of damage because of Fire Emancipation. That is a hell of a combo there, guys. That is something to watch out for. Definitely. So let's see if there's anything we missed here. Giant's Fury, Bearded Axe, Thornmantle Striker. I think we've seen all of these already. The Changeling should be interesting. I don't see any direct party support coming out. But there is enough that is clerics that is... I haven't seen any warriors, but I've seen clerics and rogues. So I think you're going to get a little bit expanded party support. I don't see the party mechanic. I have a feeling that the party mechanic is going to make a return in the D&D set. I definitely don't think we've seen the last of it. That's my prediction. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. Not a lot of people liked it that much. You know, it didn't become one of those beloved mechanics like scry or cycling or something like that that's going to be in the game forever. But I think that they are going to try to push it a little bit more, especially with the D&D Forgotten Realms ideas coming up. So that is all the leaks that I've been able to see just yet. There have been a few more. Watch the Reddit. Changelings do synergize with party nicely because they count as everything. So there are a few other, like Pack Beast does count as everything. It will definitely be something to watch out for. I don't think the party mechanic is going to be dead. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. I haven't seen any leaks hit the subreddit lately. This is tonight, so hopefully we'll see. We haven't got a look at the Mastery Pass yet. I haven't seen that. I'd love to see what the Mastery Pass looks like coming up in the future. But one of the main takeaways is that I think white, black, and red are getting huge buffs. I think Golgari Elves are going to be pretty big. I think red is going to have some seriously broken cards. That's the only ones that I can really see broken. We will have some mechanics here, like these foretells, that will be able to modify the foretells or the boasts. I haven't seen... So here's another boast. 1, you may change Arnie Browbiker's base power to 1, plus the greatest power among other creatures you control. So a few other things. I'm looking for that special card, like I said, like 4-leaf clover, that is going to really, really break that foretell or that boast system. They love to put those breaker cards in because everybody's buying packs like crazy, scrambling for them. So definitely something to watch. I'm excited for the set, personally. I think it's going to be a really cool set. I mean, I'd just be happy if they gave me these these extra lands right here. It's going to be so easy to put together a proper Bant. Not just Bant, but what else were you saying, guys in the chat? Who you were saying that it's been hard to put together certain colors. Grixis is very popular. Esper will certainly get a boost. Esper will certainly get a boost with this Azorius. Just those alone will be enough to really kind of shift the game. I would save, if you have limited amount of rares, I would save them for the manas first. So this was our first look at Kaldheim. Tell me what you think. Did I miss one? Is there any card that you're specifically excited about? Is there any card that you're specifically looking forward to or that you want to see? Is there any kind of service that you want to see kind of enhanced? Elves, dwarves, giants, berserkers, looks like they're all getting some love. I'm a big tribal player, so I'm happy to see that they're not just going with other crazy stuff. But I think that it's going to be a really good shot in the arm. Honestly, I'm at the point in the set right now, it couldn't come at a better time. Making a new deck almost every single day gets a little tedious sometimes, so I'm definitely looking forward for that next couple of days to see that release of something new and give it a much needed boost. So we'll do a big hack opening when the time comes. Certainly going to buy the season pass. And if there's any other big spoilers, or when the full release of the set of cards is released, when the full roster, when we can see them, I might go over them again. Yeah, I'd love some tribal support. Icon of Ancestry reprint. We do have Banner of Heraldric Banner, but I would love to see all certain types of X cards get 1/1. So far, they've been locked into creatures like this. So far, any kind of booster, the Heraldric Icon of Ancestry is kind of locked into some creatures, some legendary, some high-level rare creatures. But I'd love to see an artifact that boosts that. Vanquisher's Banner is also a good one from way back in Ixalan, I love that one, especially when you be able to cast. It was expensive, but whenever you cast a creature type, you got to draw a card. Very good. So I'd love to see more tribal support. If this was the one to do it, an emphasis on tribes, sticking with your kind, the war between humans, elves, dwarves, dragons, some sort of icon of ancestry support would be great. That would definitely be something to look forward to. So please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your thoughts, ideas, and anything you think about this new set. And let me know if you see any new cards or anything that I missed. Leave a comment. Let me know. That's going to be it for tonight, guys. We're going to be back with a fresh deck tomorrow. Never fear. But until then, Happy New Year, everybody. And happy gaming out there. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.